Um, no one has more respect and admiration for the University of Southern California football program than I do. I was fortunate to have coached there. Great people, great coaches, from Mike Garrett to Pat Hayden to Lane and all the coaches. I worked with some of them. Two of my kids graduated from that school. But you know what? It's not about them. It's not about them at all. We know what they are. We know who they are. Watch them on film, and they make your heart stop. But it's about our guys and our willingness to do the things that we want to get done, our willingness to fight and work and do the things that we want to do. It's a good measuring stick for us, and the ball is oblong. It's a funny shaped ball. It bounces weird ways, and if we can fight and stay in the game and see what happens after that. We told our guys, you can't win the game after the first, you can't win the game after the second, you can't win the game after the third. You can only win it after the fourth quarter. And we're going to fight them till the end. And if we do that, we'll accept whatever consequences come up after that. And if we're successful, we have to play another one. If we're not successful, we have to play another one. So we understand that. Our guys are anxious, they're ready to go, they're tired of hitting one another, and it's time we hit somebody else. Any questions?
Coach, going into a fall camp, a training camp type scenario, most coaches always walk in and say, I just want to get everything out of my kids that I can get. This being game week, have you gotten everything out of these kids?
It's so hard to measure. I was looked at the tape from Saturday and was a little disappointed because, we want to practice a certain way. We want to practice a certain way because we want to play a certain way. And I saw a little bit of, they realized maybe that we weren't going to go full, tackle. We were in pads. We did want them to go full speed. And I saw a little bit of a drop off effort-wise. So are we there yet? Probably not. Do I think our guys want to be there? I think they do. I'm not sure they know how. I'm sure they know what our expectation level is just about now. But I think they've made good progress, and they're a terrific group of kids. Players, I shouldn't say kids, they're players, and we just need to make sure they understand where we're going to go. I mean, I think they understand that. It's a very, very difficult, daunting schedule that's ahead of us. So I think, to answer your question, Robert, I think we understand. Are we there yet? Probably not.
What about the challenges that come along with this being the first game, obviously not exactly knowing how these guys are going to perform under the big lights, but for the lights to be so bright in that first game against the #1 team and on national television, what are the difficulties that come along with that?
Well, you just hope that they're not, of what's about to take place. And we try to talk to them about it, and, even thought about going over there before, but I don't think so. It's obviously, they understand. I mean, they read the papers, they know. They're not, you don't fool kids. You don't fool your players. You fool a lot of people. I don't think you ever fool a player. So, we just have to go and convince them that just once the game starts, they have a different color jerseys. I call them faceless names. We certainly understand and appreciate and respect who they are, but we can't let that get to us. We have to go out and perform.
You talked about getting players ready. How are you getting yourself ready? This is your first day coaching.
Well, my wife says, Robert told me that Robert hopes I don't trip walking out on the field. I've never been on the field. But, it's another game, and once the game gets started, I think, I've never called the I have called the game a couple of years, a long time ago, from the field. It's not, and it sounds coach speak, but it's the truth. It's not about me. I'm anxious to watch our guys perform. I really am. We'll manage. I have great coaches. We've gone over the scenarios of the game time and time again. Will we make mistakes? I'm not sure. Will we make sure we use the timeouts right? That kind of thing. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's not about, I don't even think about that. I'm more worried about how our players are going to react than I am about how I'm going to do.
Well, your familiarity with some of the opposing coaches, will that help you in your game planning?
Maybe a little bit, but they are terrific football coaches. Monty Kiffin is an icon in both college and NFL coaching, and he does a terrific job of getting his players ready. Ed Ogeron the same way. Obviously we watch the tape and we understand their schemes, but are we good enough to attack the schemes properly? We'll just have to wait and see. They're good now. They're awfully good, and they're very well coached. Monty Lane's dad on defense, and Ed Ogeron, and Lane and Kennedy Pola, who's also a friend of mine on offense. I think we know a little bit about what they're going to do. They know a little bit about what we're going to do. Now it's just a matter of letting our guys go after it.
What kind of reception are you expecting from the crowd there, you personally? Because you were part of some.
Well, I've been back a couple of times since then, and I like Los Angeles. And it hasn't been bad, and I don't think it'll be bad then. USC fans are very sophisticated. They understand. They like to win just like everybody else, but they understand, and I suppose I'll get, I don't think there'll be any negative reaction to us showing up.
How come so much has been made about your and Lane Kiffin's relationship, you think, over the years?
That's somebody else doing it, not me, not us. USC afforded me a tremendous opportunity. When Pete called, it was an exciting challenge to be a part of, and obviously we had lots of success there. Lane was an up and coming young guy who knew where he wanted to go, but that's all exaggerated. Pete encourages guys on his staff. If you look closely, guys on his staff move on. That's Pete's mantra. He wants people to improve and to get a chance. And if it wasn't for Pete Carroll, I wouldn't have had a chance in the NFL. So that's just me. This stuff I see Lane all the time. We both live in Manhattan Beach.
How come you're not practicing in the Coliseum, and was that someone else's advice to you?
No, I don't. I've never, even as an assistant, never believed in going there the Friday before. What are you going to see? An empty stadium is all you're going to see. So I just hope. I remember when I was at UCLA, we played a team, and after the game was over, the coach, who was a friend of mine, assistant coach, said he knew they were in trouble because they wouldn't put their cameras down. I hope our guys don't take their cameras to the Coliseum.
In the big scheme of college athletics, this almost represents the opposite end of the pole. We got have not Hawaii, have everything in USC. Have you seen pictures or video of their new athletic?
I have. I saw, knew of their plans and all. It's an amazing, absolutely. But that's typical USC. There's a, and that's what I enjoy. Why I enjoyed it so much. There was a firm commitment by everybody involved, from the president to the boosters to everybody. The commitment to college athletics, and it shows. It shows by that magnificent building that they have. And I heard someone made a statement. It's going to be a little easier for them to recruit. So yeah, but then you come well. But anyway, we're going to play them. We're going to play them. We're going to fight them, and I think our guys really believe that that we have a chance. We do. That's why you play the game, right? That's why you play the game. But no question, it is an absolutely, like I said earlier, it's a program that everyone should try to emulate. Especially on the West Coast, it's them and Oregon and maybe Stanford. But other than that, everybody needs to try to be like them.
Were you coaching in the NFL when Matt Barkley was coming out of high school?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I know Matt. I know him very well. Really like Matt. He's a good player, and just as Robert Woods and Marquise Lee, I know them. Try to recruit those two, and not only are they good players, they're good people, and that's what USC does for them.
As far as their on-the-field capabilities, where does it start when you describe USC and the challenges that they're going to pose?
Unbelievable. I mean, they have tremendous talent, but they couple that with a real solid scheme, and they couple that with that the guys are going to play hard. You play hard when you go to USC. That's the only thing that matters, is that they have the right temperament, that they play hard. They're playing a bunch of young guys. I mean, Robert was a sophomore. The two defensive tackles, I think, and one's a sophomore, one's a freshman, Uko and Antoine Woods. But they know how to play. They're taught that. It's the culture that's developed there. Hopefully, this is the kind of culture that we will have someday. That they're going to play hard. In fact, I remember we went off and played in a national championship game, and as I was leaving the hotel, my wife asked me, how do you think you guys will do? I said, we're playing somebody. I said, I don't really know because of the talent level we're playing, but I tell you what, those other guys better be ready, because our guys will play hard. Our guys, meaning at USC at the time, and sure enough, the tempo took over, and it wasn't even a contest.
Coach, a lot of talk has been about the team in general being in transition. Over the past few years here, the offensive line specifically has been in transition almost every year, and this season's no exception. Obviously, a new mindset as far as the blocking schemes. Can you talk a little bit about your offensive line and how it's coming together?
Well, it's amazing, Dave. I looked at the roster. We start 2 seniors. We start Pai Pai on defense, and we start Maya a third of the time with the personnel group that he's with. We start 2 seniors. You know, our long snapper, I'm sorry, is a senior, Luke, and then Hano and Correa will play quite a bit. Haku will play quite a bit on defense, but you know, we're awfully young. And so if we can get this group, I think they've come along very well. You know, I think the mentality of the type of players that we have are meant to be a lot more aggressive, if you will. And I think they enjoy the going forward instead of dropping back all the time. And we've done a nice job with that. You know, can we hold up? Again, we'll just have to wait and see. But they've done a nice job. Sean Shigematsu, is a sophomore. Our center's a true freshman, a true actual freshman. And then our guards, you know, Lefotu played some last year, but he's only a junior. And Kapua Sai came in from Utah. He's only a junior. And then our left tackle's a freshman. A redshirt freshman. I guess Ben would be a redshirt freshman. He was a gray shirt. So, you know, we start 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and 2 juniors.
I think
So
Lefotu might be a sophomore too.
a sophomore too, yeah, that's right. He's nursing a little bit of a hand. But so, what is that? 2 freshmen, two sophomores, and a junior. And the junior really, although he was in Utah's program for a bit, he really didn't play much. So it's young, but I think they've kind of hung together. You know, offensive linemen have that mentality. You know, that we're going to hang together type deal, and hopefully they'll take enough pride in what they're doing.
So there's a good chance here of stopping that cycle of rebuilding it every year.
I hope so. I hope so. You know, they recruited well here. I mean, Sean and those guys have all been in the program. So, you know, it's changing the mindset to being a lot more run-oriented. Not a lot more, but more run-oriented than they have been in the past.
Coach, as far as game week preparations, is this week going to mirror something you did last week, or is there more transitions from week to week from camp?
It's all the same. It's all the same. Maybe today will be a little different than a normal Monday would be, but you know, we're going to work today as if it were a game week. I mean, that we're coming off a game. Tomorrow will be tough. Wednesday will be tough. Thursday's so unique because I've never done this before. We're going to have to practice in the morning, get ready, and get on an airplane. So Thursday will be the same kind of Thursday practice, but you know, it's going to be done early in the morning.
You have a huge attention to detail. Are you going to be, as far as how the team travels, do you have a specific wardrobe or protocol that they're going to be following this year?
Yep. They're all going to dress alike. And you know, we've done some studies. We've been in contact with a sleep specialist from Stanford, a gal that's been very, very helpful. So we're going to try. You know, again, none of us coaches have experienced this. Tony has. But yes, they're going to travel like gentlemen. We're going on a business trip. We're going to act proper. We're going to look proper, and we're going to do the best we can to represent this place and be a team. And we're looking forward to that. And I think they are as well.
So hats forward.
Hats forward. Only hats issued by Al.
Anything else?
Yeah, you know, Saturday, you'll address your football team before they take the field for the first time as a head coach. You have a Newt Rockney type one for the Gipper speech up your sleeve?
Probably not. I think I've always thought pregame talks were the most exaggerated talks in the world. If they're not ready by then, they probably won't be. Lavelle Edwards' big pregame talk was, "Hey, anybody got to go to the restroom?" You know. So we'll talk to them on Friday. And I don't know. I don't know, Robert. That's a good question. I'm honored to be the head coach. I really am. These young guys have done everything we've asked. You know, we've had some setbacks, but they've done everything we've asked them to do, and I'm just anxious to watch them play. I really am. I'm proud of these guys. Whatever the result will be, we're gonna have to come back and get ready for Lamar anyway. So, long answer to your short question. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't sat around trying to figure that out just yet.
We got to ask this one because you're going to be asked it anyway. But can you say anything about the punting situation?
Nope.
That's what I figured.
All right.